Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another show match put on by Alpha X. This time, this is going to be a Alpha show match, not a Alpha Pro series, part of the Alpha Fight series that we're going to be hosting between some players and throwing them up on our Twitch channel. This afternoon, we have a great best of 9 between Starkiller and DeMiGoD. This is going to be a TVZ. Hope everyone's been having a fantastic time, and I'm really excited to cast this, as I'm a big fan of Starkiller. He's a great guy, and I don't know a ton about Demi, but it is going to be a TVZ, and that's always an exciting matchup to Wow, okay. So apparently the mic was muted for a while there. Thank you, Snoopy, for catching that. When I switched scenes, I did not have everything set up correctly. Here, let me adjust the in-game volume too. Thanks a lot, Snoopy, and as I was saying before that, thanks a lot for the host. So I know that quite a bit of what I said at the beginning got chopped off, so I'll just repeat it for a second here. Before we get into this game, I expect Starkiller's play to be strong right out of the gate. We saw that in his last series, the last TVZ. Might want to up the mic volume. Okay, let me just do that real quick. Alright, mic volume is up. Hopefully that's better. So, Starkiller started out really strong in the last ZVT he played came out with some really abusive strats, Nidus play, Muta play, Storm Host, etc. That really caught the Terran off guard. As the series wore on, though, his play started to become predictable, and the Terran player knew exactly how to react in the situation that Starkiller brought, and Starkiller wasn't quite able to carry through into the macro game. Hey there, Undefeatable. Thank you for the host. And we're getting the switch out of the barracks and the factory for Demi. We're going to have Hellions in production here. And it looks like we may have a Banshee on the way as we have a tech lab going down on the barracks. We'll see if we have Banshee, maybe Raven, perhaps. But as I missed this in this game, the Ravagers are coming in for Starkiller here, and there is currently nothing out to defend this. It's a little too preoccupied trying to explain this game. And it looks like Starkiller has 3 unanswered Ravagers out in the natural right now. There are only 2 Hellions out right now. 2 are on the way, but this is going to be very tough for him to deal with, as Hellions do not do significant damage to Ravagers. There are a few Marauders out now. He chose to produce those with his Tech Lab barracks, but still a great amount of damage being done from Starkiller here. He is very much ahead in the worker count as well, as he killed a lot of workers in the natural. Total of 7 going down. This is something that we've seen from Starkiller a lot in the last series. We've seen a lot of Ravager pokes being aggressive with some units early to get a small advantage in the early game, and that was a very successful attack. We do have a fusion core being proxied here, as we will have BC play, which could be strong. But the big problem here for DeMiGoD right now is that these Ravagers are still getting a ton of damage down. A lot of units killed by these Ravagers. The Banshee is out, which means that eventually these Ravagers will get cleaned up, but not before they get even more damage as they're going into the main and killing more workers. Thankfully for Demi, those bios did not quite land, but still, overall, great damage done from Starkiller. As well, there is a scouting overlord here that's going to see everything in the main for Starkiller, so that is getting picked off now, but he has all the intel he needs except for this fusion core. So that's actually a very smart decision for Demi to proxy this, as Starkiller is still in the dark about that, and he's not going to be expecting Battlecruiser. We have a Spire out from Starkiller. I like that a lot. I think that's strong. I really like Mutila's play in TVZ, and especially Starkiller, the micro potential. In a situation where you already have you think you have a strong lead in the early game, and then to go into Muta, you can definitely abuse the Terran player. Unfortunately for DeMiGoD, he did lose his Banshee there. That's unfortunate, because he's not going to be able to scout except for scans for a while now. He's not going to really have presence across the map, and Starkiller will be able to expand uncontested. But the BC, the first one that's out, did warp in here, and Starkiller was very much not expecting this Spire. Just finishing up now. Queens are coming out. 6 Mutalisks on the way, and I think that they will help a lot in cleaning up this BC. But still, good damage getting done by this CC. Starkiller, good queen micro. All those queens are very low, though. He doesn't have much mana for transfuses, I think. There's one, and this first Battlecruiser is very low. These mutas actually will most likely catch this off guard, and now DeMiGoD is going to lose that first Battlecruiser. Dropped a mule to try to repair it, but too little too late. Meanwhile, Lings ran by into the natural, getting even more SCV kills here. Great job from him. Very strong play from Starkiller here. The Mutalisks are coming across the map, and there's not any anti-air here except for one Marine and turrets being built. He can definitely delay those turrets. Another Battlecruiser is going to pop soon, so that's going to give him something, but still there's a window of time where these Mutalisks can get in a lot of worker harass. Mass building on this turret will be successful. They will get it up, but not before a few SCVs go down. Second battlecruiser is out, more on the way, but now that Starkiller knows this, he can continue to build mutas, and if the battlecruisers are really kept pent in their base, they're not doing much damage to Starkiller. I like Starkiller's position. He has a commanding worker lead here in this position. He's a base ahead, and I think he's got the tech lead here. Mutalisks versus the small number of BCs that are out are not going to do too well, and the proxy fusion core and for some reason the proxied armory are out here. These are going to get shut down. Yamato cannon is not going to get researched. That's a big blow for DeMiGoD. There are 4 Widow Mines here. I really like this position as Starkiller might be tempted here to fly in. Ooh, wait a second. This could go really poorly for Starkiller if he's not paying attention. We'll see if he notices. He does not, and he loses so many mutas. Starkiller just threw away a ton of mutas. That's a great move for Demi. He's going to force these mutalisks back. He's got to wait for them to regen. Some health and a nice warp ahead there. Got to pick off a lot of mutalisks here. This is such a smart play. Wow, DeMiGoD with this BC micro being very creative, getting a lot of damage done. This is what he needs to get back into this game. Third CC is building now, and it's going to be these 2 battlecruisers versus the mutas. I think DeMiGoD is going to have to pull back a little bit as the muta count is pretty scary for all these mutalisks. For only 2 BCs, he's going to have to wait until he gets some other anti-air. And the fusion core is down, so there is no more BC production, and I think that DeMiGoD's going to be in trouble here with the amount of mutas. The Widowmine connections bought him some time here in the mid-game, but he's still going to have to answer the flock of mutas that are out. The only anti-air are 2 battlecruisers and a few turrets. 4th going down here as well from Starkiller. He is taking a nice economical position, up to 70 workers. And DeMiGoD just now putting down his 3rd. Infestors on the way as well. Mutalisks coming in here into the natural. We'll move back for some reason. BCs and Hellbats are looking to attack this 3rd base. There is a lot of lings here, a few queens. And the Mutalisks, it looked like they were going to go back for a minute. They choose to instead just stay at home. Stay at the opponent's base and try to get some damage done there. Hellbats and battlecruisers focusing down the Evo chambers. I don't think that should be his first priority. There's a lot of lings here, and that's a bad position for these lings to fight. Infested Terran coming in to help, and with the amount of mutalisks here, these battlecruisers are going to get taken down eventually. The Hellbats getting in taking great cost-effective trades, but still losing a lot of damage, losing a lot of units there. Starkiller is in a strong supply lead here. Had to use a lot of infestor mana on those infested Terrans to help clean up the Hellbats, and unfortunately for Starkiller, he didn't get those BCs. Those are going to go back home, and they're going to be repaired up. So he lost quite a few mutas in the pursuit of killing those BCs. So those BCs looked like initially they were going to be a bust after the first one got sniped so quickly, but they retained their value quite a bit throughout this series, throughout the game, excuse me, and can put in work against these mutas. I think at this point in the game, mutalisks are really starting to not be effective. When you have BCs, you have Thors, you have enough missile turrets, it's really hard to make mutalisks work in terms of a army-on-army engagement. They're really squishy against Terran splash damage here. He's continuing to produce mutas, though. He might want to transition into Broodlords eventually. We've got flyer attacks being upgraded as well, so that's looking like he's going to stick with mutalisks. And I'm wondering if that's going to be a mistake eventually, as there's Ravens, there's Thors, there's BCs here. And it's going to be a risky engagement here for sure. Mutalisks getting nice economic damage here, but a lot of them are going down to these Thors, and they're going into the main, getting some add-ons here. That's a very nice pick-off. The BCs are here, though. So Mutalisks getting some nice damage where they can. Getting the Thor, that's big. sniping the Thor. That's a big move. It was away from the other two Thors. And the big tail here, I think, is the massive army supply lead for Starkiller. Even though these mutas may be starting to really not be worth their weight here, if Starkiller can come in here with enough Lings, enough Infestors, and put an attack here, he's basically maxed. So this is going to be a strong push in here with an only 100 supply DeMiGoD. This is going to be really dicey, a really dicey defense here for Terran. We will have tanks, we will have Thors, and a Raven. But still, that's a lot of Zerg units. Looks like Starkiller maybe trying to posture to get that Raven. It's not going to work here, however. But what is going to work is Lings surrounding the Thors here, getting on top. Banelings coming in as well. This is a great trade for Starkiller, shutting down this attempted 4th base. And GG is called. Starkiller will win Game 1. All right. We are going to have to switch to EU here as the ping is both players face a significant ping disadvantage when they're playing on NA versus EU conversely. So we are going to switch back and forth between NA and EU. Oops. Just to make sure it is fair for both players in terms of ping. I'm going to post the Matcherino, guys. Be sure to contribute to that. And let me get that link real quick. I will post the code in chat. If you're watching and you have not visited the Matcherino and used the code, please do so. And I need to check, did we agree on loser pick or are we alternating? Not sure if we agreed on it already. But I will check right now. Okay, waiting on a response here. But yeah, that game did go as I thought it would. Starkiller putting on the pressure early onto DeMiGoD. And I think we're going to see that same pattern play out for at least the first few games here. And we're going to see if DeMiGoD can sort of take control of the series and respond to Starkiller's early shenanigans and sort of off-tempo builds, abusive strategies, and can pull through and macro and really go into the mid game even with Starkiller. I think at that point, DeMiGoD has a strong chance of winning. Oh, I was messaging in the wrong. If DeMiGoD can go into the mid game, get on 3-4 bases without having taken significant losses from Starkiller's early game activity, then I think he's in a really strong position. GM Terrans, we've seen Starkiller at some points struggle to mech in a different, really strong macro play from different Terrans. Seems like his style is really really thrives when he can force the Terran to be uncomfortable, to make mistakes, and be on the back foot right out from the gate. So we'll see what comes out. Let's see. All right, looks like map's getting sorted out here. Wait, did I just switch to NA? Oh, never mind. All right, we're finally getting ready. Going to be going on to King's Cove. Let's see. Actually, don't know how to leave that tag. Yep. Still on the old clan. All right. Getting into game number 2 here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Should be peak European time, and it is a nice sunny afternoon here on the East Coast. And looks like DeMiGoD elected not to join the lobby. What's up with that? I'm pretty excited as well for the All-In-Nitus League starting up. Was planning on doing a cast for that match with Snap in a few days. However, we did get a bye on the first week. Have to see when I can do the cast for the next week, because I am going to be on a vacation starting on Wednesday. Going to be flying out to Colorado. So I have to see how that depending on what time I get back. I have to see when I can do that next week cast. I do not see Demi. Looks like he went offline. Looks like he disconnected. So we will continue to wait. But yeah, as I'm saying, the All-In-Nitus NA, if you guys are watching, be sure to look out for those casts in the future. It's a best of 7 all-kill team league with unique maps, which is one of the coolest parts of it. Thank you, Mirtillo2004, for following. 2004, very good year. Looks like he's cheering on Demi. And hopefully he can join back in here. He's just DC'd. Don't know what his internet situation is like. We are playing from a pretty large location discrepancy, as DeMiGoD is from Iran, I believe. And we continue to wait. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Tillo. Hope you're having a good day. Are you a friend of Demi's or clanmate? Oh, looks like a PC crash. Glad that happened now and not in a game. Teammate, cool. And big fan. Hey, M. Day. Good to see you in chat. Oops, gonna update the score. Starkiller is up 1 game in this best of 9. And at the bottom corner of King's Cove, we have the Blizzard Starkiller. And at the top, we have the Red Terran DeMiGoD. And it looks like Nightbot already posting the match link for me. Very cool. Be sure to check that out, guys. New people watching the stream. Go to that link, put in the code, and you can donate to this prize pool for free. There is a $50 prize pool for this show match that's going to be added in after that. But if we can increase the prize pool automatically, that'd be super cool. The resolution is squared just because I have a odd-shaped monitor, and if it's either it can be squared or it can be stretched, and I think most people rather it be squared than stretched weirdly, so going with that. Hopefully should be able to pick up another monitor soon doesn't have that weird resolution. But anyways, we'll have to see if Starkiller does go for that 3 Ravager little push out. I totally missed that last time. I was too busy trying to think about the meta of the best of 9 series in general. But that got a lot of damage done for him here. It was very strong. CC on the low ground Reaper, looking standard so far. The big question will we have a Roach Warren for Starkiller early? Or will we have standard 3 base play? 4 links on the way for Starkiller. Going to be enough to push this Reaper back. There is an SAV that's scouted as well, and that makes me think a proxy perhaps. Oh no, sorry. Could be just to also delay the 3rd base for Starkiller. Reaper coming in here, though, with the 4 lings. See how well he will be able to micro that. So far, taking quite a few pot shots, Starkiller's lings are. Queen is out, though, going to push that back. And this SCV is going to be an eBay, I think, to delay that 3rd. I like that a lot. Engineering Bay, of course, the fastest building. Or I should say the quickest building. You get the most HP on your building per second. And nice pick off from Starkiller. Gets the Reaper. No more scouting intel from him unless he was able to sneak that SCV through. But yeah, I like this engineering play. Very strong. Going to take a while for 4 lings to punch that down once the once the drone moves over there to take the base. But it looks like we have Lair before third base. Speed's finishing up as well. So what is the tech choice going to be from Starkiller? There's a lot of things he can do here, but this is very Starkiller-esque, going for tech here. Luckily, the Lings are kept out of the main. This time, instead of a Banshee, we do have a Viking coming out. Hellion's going to be moving across the map, going to do some harassment. And we have yet another proxy of a fusion core. So we're going to have one Viking being made, and then a BC's following that up. Tanks as well. He's not going to switch the factory and the barracks as add-ons. But I actually really like this Viking instead of a Banshee, because one of the things that happened last game was that the Overlord of Starkiller got right into the base at a crucial time and was able to scout, get a lot of scouting information in, and now he's going to be able to kill some Overlords and get free scouting in with the Viking. And prevent free scouting with the Viking. We have Yamato Cannon being introduced right away before even the first BC is made. Few Lings poking around the third base of DeMiGoD, looking to see what they can get. Lings suiciding in, just seeing that tank production is up. First battlecruiser and Cyclone are on the way as well. Starkiller did go for mutas with the Lair tech, got a Spire. And this time, though, DeMiGoD's going to be quite a bit more prepared for it. He's going to have turrets. He has one Viking out. He's got some Marines, Cyclone as well, and a battlecruiser. So this is... I don't think the mutas are going to be able to get a ton of utility done, especially in the mineral lines, as there will be turrets and enough anti-air. They can, however, keep the Terran player at bay, get some scouting in, and maybe get some small chunks of damage here and there. Flyer attacks being upgrades, it means that I think Starkiller is going to want to commit a decent amount to these mutas. Sorry guys, it's a little bit laggy. We are on EU. Starkiller getting his third up and the Baneling Nest as well. So he wants to be staying with that Ling Bane muta style that he had last game. The anti-air here is, there's a lot of anti-air, so I'm not sure if these mutas are going to end up being a wasted resource here for Starkiller. A waste of resources. Yamato Cannon, nice picking off one muta. Starkiller could be checking for that proxied fusion core. He doesn't know for sure, because he did not get a scout into the lane. Picking off this Viking here, that's nice, and get this SCV. It's building the 13C as well. More mutas on the way. Double Evo's down in the main. Starkiller is really doubling down on that muta play as he's producing even more. Expect the fourth base to be coming out from Starkiller here soon. There it is, going down at that central base. So Starkiller is in a pretty good situation economically. He's got... Well, workers are about tied, and then when you add mules, it's about even. Although I like DeMiGoD's position in general. The supplies are pretty close, and a lot of Starkiller supply is in mutas, which I know I keep saying this, but I don't think they're going to have much utility against the army of DeMiGoD. He's producing Hellions as well to deal with the heavy numbers of Lings. There's going to be tanks as well. This is going to be a lot of splash damage that these Lings and Banelings are going to have to deal with. Investors are on the way here. Maybe that can be a strong tech follow-up for Starkiller. He had them last game, but he didn't even need them necessarily. His engagement with the Lings and Banes on the army of DeMiGoD was so good. Third base established with a lot of mules. We're going to start to see DeMiGoD's economy really go up here. As we can see, they're pretty close. Starkiller has a bit of a lead in terms of minerals, but not by much. And in situations where the Terran has when the Terran is even economically, I generally favor the Terran in TVZ. Gonna start to need to see more bases from Starkiller. Fifth base coming in right now. Two on the way for Starkiller. How are the upgrades for DeMiGoD? Currently, no upgrades. We do not have armies. I am wondering, yeah, their armies are coming down now. That's actually very late. That's a big mistake here for DeMiGoD. DeMiGoD is also moving out the BCs, moving out with the BCs. He hasn't done much with them this game, but he feels confident to be able to move out with these units here. I think that's a strong choice. As with him, every time he Yamatos, he can just take out a few mutas. The real issue here is these infestors. Will they get to land their neural parasite? And it expires, but not before he can do a lot of damage to these BCs. So the real issue here is that DeMiGoD moved out with the BCs without knowing about the infestors and just got trapped. Those are 3 BCs going down essentially for free. That's a nice pickup from Starkiller. But the army of mech is out, starting to poke out of the third here, and that is a strong army. The Mulus count is pretty low, but they're still there, and we have 3 Thors coming out. I think the Thors are going to be enough to neutralize as well. With it looks like an additional BC was made along with Ravens, so the Mulus aren't going to be a big issue here. Starkiller now on 5 bases, continuing to expand. DeMiGoD is pretty close to being maxed. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him move out soon, though. Kaori saying he's pretty passive. Yeah, he was very passive with the BCs for a long time. I think largely because he didn't want to get caught out with the mutas. Wanted to make sure he didn't move out and the mutas swoop into his main and he loses a ton of SCVs. So I think it was a conservative play from DeMiGoD, which I like. And here we go. This is the strong mech army coming out. The big difference, though, is that there's no upgrades on this mech army. And that could be a big mistake. We'll see. There's still a lot here, though. A lot of banelings being morphed here. We've got banelings, corruptors, a lot of infestors. Here we go. The tanks are sieging up. The banelings are not quite in position. This is going to be really tough for Zerg here to attack into this position. There's just way too many tanks, way too much splash in this army. I think anytime Starkiller tries to go forward, they're just going to get massacred. Here we go. The tank's doing so much damage. Great rolls from the infestors, but they're getting shredded by these Hellbats. And it looks like at the end of the day, the trade, a lot of damage being done to both sides, but it looks like Starkiller comes out on top. With only a few tanks and 1 Thor left, he's going to lose those tanks. Looks like 1 tank will not survive, and the last Thor pushing out those Mutalisks. So overall, that fight went really well for Starkiller. DeMiGoD killed a lot, but a lot of that was the replaceable Lings and Banes. And now he's going to have trouble defending his 3rd and 4th here. I think Starkiller can honestly just rally across the map and take this game. DeMiGoD taking an unfortunate engagement there. It did do a lot of damage, but unfortunately for Zergs, the Remax army is so fast But you have to think about not just the one army, but the future of armies, the future potential armies that can come out from a Zerg who is on 6 bases. Starkiller being hesitant here. I don't think he really needs to be. I think this fourth, excuse me, is very vulnerable. Apparently he feels... Okay, he was just waiting for the Broodlords. Here we go. So these Broodlords are getting blown apart by these Thors, but the rings coming in here are really strong. A lot of SUVs were pulled to repair the Thors, but to no avail. Starkiller is going to go up 2 games here. DeMiGoD able to get that mech ball, but I was a little bit worried about Starkiller's play against that strong mech army, but proving to me that he had plenty of bases there, that he can just take some engagements and then remax and fight again. And DeMiGoD was not prepared for it. Alright, so we're going to move back to NA for game number 3. Back to the land of freedom. The land of obesity epidemics. And... methamphetamine epidemics. I guess depending on which way you look at it. Thank you for the follow, Jesu. Or is it Jesus? Let me see. I couldn't quite see it. It was a little bit messed up, the font. Okay. So strong play from Starkiller here. Even though the mutas didn't do too much damage, he stuck with them and was able to get a really strong fight with the infestors. So now DeMiGoD does know that Starkiller's tech of choice here seems to be muta into infestor. So now he can be aware of the infestors and really know, try to deal with them a bit more. As in that game, he really just was not prepared for the amount of damage they would do to his BCs. He threw away 3 BCs, and he threw away a lot of tanks with those Knurls. So strong micro from Starkiller with the infestors. Waiting for both players here. I think we're going to just alternate map picks, as we did not agree upon whether we were going to do loser pick or alternate map picks beforehand, so we're just going to go with alternate pick. Maples is now hosting the stream with 13 viewers. Thank you, Maples. Not sure if Nation Wars voting is over yet, but be sure to go vote for Maples in the Nation Wars voting for Canada, if you have not already. We are currently doing a best of 9 show match between Starkiller and DeMiGoD. Hey, Maples, what's up? And we are getting some great TVZ action between both these players. Voting is over. Okay. Missed that. No problem, Maples. Hopefully you get in next time. I'm not sure where Starkiller is. Did I move to the wrong thing? Oh, I didn't move. I'm so dumb. I was waiting in the European lobby. Okay. Alright, we're loading into Acropolis here. Sorry about that. So, Demi picked Acropolis. And it is now a 2-game deficit for DeMiGoD. Starkiller, this is the second... Will this be the third game in a row that DeMiGoD goes for the proxy fusion core? I feel like it's starting to get... I mean, Starkiller's expecting it here. So I'd like to see something different from DeMiGoD. We will have to see what happens. In the top corner of Acropolis, we have the Red Terran DeMiGoD. And the Blue Zerg. In the bottom corner, it is Starkiller. Very much a fan of the map Acropolis. I like it a lot. Glad to see it still played. So, will we see any Niduses in this series from Starkiller? Game 1, we had the Ravager play. In Game 2, we did not. We had the Muta play. The relatively quick layer. Nidus play is something that he's been known for. Will he continue to do it? I haven't noticed if DeMiGoD's been super diligent in scouting. He got the Banshee the one game and the Viking the other. Which I'm a fan of the Viking. Or the Polt Viking. Hey, Sun Lily, what's up? Good to see you. A lot of utility you can gain from the Viking, especially if you think Starkiller is going for Mutalisks. Get Overlords, Scout. Especially against a player like Starkiller, who you know always has that potential to Nidus. If you're worried about Nidus play, I think the Viking is the way to go. We'll have to keep an eye on Starkiller, see if we see anything funny coming out from him. So that possibility is always there. Reaper moving out across the map. And the SEV was sent out as well. And it looks like Starkiller is wise to this strategy from DeMiGoD. Was maybe going to try to take a third. Or was he just going to poke? Not sure if he had the money saved up for the third and then he decided to not take the third, or if he just wanted to check to see if the SCV was doing anything. Either way, the engineering bay will be up and the 4-lings will be here to push back the Reaper as well as the Queen. So if Starkiller was wanting to go for an early third, he will not. It will be delayed a significant amount. So yeah, the engineering bay block, that's something that I really like. I feel like we used to see it more, but it's a very cute play. Now the third will just be taken over here, but it still caused some delay, and the third being taken here is less ideal for Starkiller. It's more exposed, it's got a lot of attack paths into it, and it's a little bit harder to SimCity. Not the biggest deal in the world, but if DeMiGoD was trying to set up some sort of earlier push, then I'd really like it. Hellions are out here as well, so he could try to put some pressure on that with the Hellion Reaper. Roach Warren is out, so we will not have Mutas quite yet, if we will have them at all in this game. And the air unit of choice for DeMiGoD is going to be Liberator. Hellions and Reaper coming in here to give this eBay a few more seconds of life before it burns down, killing everyone inside of it. Roach Warren is up. We have a few more lings being made. And 7 roaches on the production tab. This is going to be a roach push out from Starkiller. The Hellion numbers are increasing. He's continued to rally those across the map with the Reactor Factory. And another Liberator on the way as well. So this is a nice little mech push that's going to be coming out from DeMiGoD here. So Roach and Ravager are going to be a strong choice, to a strong reaction from Starkiller. The question is, how much damage will these Liberators do? There is no static defense in the base, only one Queen. So it's going to take quite a bit of micro from Starkiller here. Roach and Ravager do quite well against these Hellbats, but they're still getting some damage done. Liberator up in the main, getting all those larvae and the Queen, I believe. A total of 5 kills there, very strong. But Starkiller is pushing across the map with the Ling Roach Ravager. There will be a Liberator up that's going to be tough to deal with. 2 bunkers as well. Will there be enough here to defend? Only a few Hellions right now. Starkiller is waiting. He's being a little bit indecisive here. Meanwhile, the second Liberator of DeMiGoD looks like it moved back. Where is that Liberator? Did it move all the way back as well? No, it's over here being repaired by the Mule. That's a nice cost-efficient move from DeMiGoD, repairing that Liberator. Currently the depots are down, but there's a Banshee here as well. The Ravagers are coming in here. This is a lot of damage against them. I do not like this move. I'd like to see him go home with this when he sees this Banshee out. He's going to lose all these Ravagers. Although I guess the utility of the Ravagers was great to pick off that Liberator. The supply depot does not get lifted, and now there's a Ling run by in both of the bases for DeMiGoD. Just when it looked like he had held, he is going to get a lot of damage. He's going to lose a lot of workers. Starkiller even going to force down that bunker. It did have the additional supply on it as well. There's a lot of SCVs going down. A total of 17 have already been killed. Great damage for Starkiller. Although 11 drones have gone down to these Liberators, they have done some damage. But again, these Lings killing an armory here that had an upgrade going. That's some insane utility. So Starkiller using the Ravagers, once the Banshee out, he just bought some time, and then a flood of Lings just did an enormous amount of damage. Strong play from Starkiller. You can see in the income, it's almost double for Starkiller. Having to remake these armories and reproduce that upgrade. Starkiller adding in his 4th base here. He's got more Ravagers on the way, more Queens. I think at a certain point he might be able to continue to put pressure on with Ravagers. He's just macroing up now, increasing his drone count. He's up to 65. Hive Tech on the way as well. We have the Infestation Pit and the Baneling Nest, so we're going to have Banelings mixed in with this as well, just to round out the army. But I really like the play I'm seeing from Starkiller, going for Mutas game 1 and game 2, and I think switching it up, going for Roach Ravager in the early game is a strong play. Forcing the Terran to not get comfortable playing just against one unit type, Mutas. Forcing him to scout, respond differently. 2 Banshees are in the main. Do we have cloak? We do not. So, making 2 Banshees without cloak might have been a mistake. DeMiGoD attempting to put the 3rd base up, although I'm not sure that he would be able to hold this if Starkiller did attack. Raven is out as well for DeMiGoD, and he is transitioning fully into mech. Tanks, Hellbat, Not going to have to produce too many Thors. I'm not going to have to worry about making Thors right away, as there are no mutas. And nice play from starkiller, moving the queens out here to pick off those air units and push the creep spread forward as well. Creep spread this game has not been fantastic, but he's working on it here, hopefully. There we go, throwing down some tumors. And Vipers out as well from starkiller, and Ultras, and Mainlings, and Adrenal Glands. Just going for the entire menu of Zerg tech choices here, and I like it a lot. Starkiller on 5 bases now, as the 5th base is almost about to finish. There's going to be a 2 base advantage. The very small force of tanks does not look like it's going to be anywhere near enough to deal with Blinding Clouds, Ravagers, Banelings, and Ultralisks. It's going to be a very rough time defending. Looks like 4th base going to land here for DeMiGoD. He's going to have to get that up very soon if he wants to have any chance in this game. Few Hellions going up to the 5th base of starkiller. Going to get a run by here. It's a nice pick off to get some drones. Unfortunately, we'll only get one before the Ultralisks and the Lings are there. This does reveal the Ultralisks, though. And starkiller is poised to attack here. This is a incredibly impressive ground army. We've got Lings, Banes, Vipers, and Ultralisks. Gonna send some Lings to try to maybe draw the army of DeMiGoD off guard. Looks like that is not gonna work, but their Lings are gonna get through anyway. It's gonna pick off a tank here and gonna force some units to move back. And starkiller is just waiting for the opportunity, I guess. Units, Ultralisks are coming in here. Blinding Clouds. Great Blinding Clouds on the tanks. The Ravagers as well can land some sick biles on the stationary tanks. The Vipers were way out of position. They could have landed a few more Blinding Clouds, but it doesn't matter as the Ultralisks are powering through here. Liberator's getting some nice damage in, but the 4th is down, and starkiller has done the damage he's needed here. So great attack from starkiller. That's going to set DeMiGoD's army supply back a long way, maybe permanently. And it looks like starkiller could produce a huge round of Lings if he wanted to, and most likely on the game. But he's going for Spire. And there's already 2 Spires. He's going for double Spire here. So that's interesting. He's going to go for Brood Lords. Starkiller is maxed again, and he's got a 6th and a 7th base on the way. And I think there was a harassment up here of some Hellions that ran by. Didn't get too many drones, though, I believe. Liberator attempting to get some more economic damage, but the Corruptors are there to shut that down right away. Hellions getting into the mineral line, getting a few more drones as well. And it looks like we're going to see a big morphing of Broodlords here soon. And the final push from starkiller across the map to take game 3. Guess he got the double Spire to try to get 2. Okay, Greater Spire is morphing. That's what it is. Corruptors can intercept these Liberators here, or will they? GG is called. And DeMiGoD sees the writing on the wall, is going to tap out before the final push comes. Okay, looks like DeMiGoD giving us the go-ahead to play here. Don't have to switch servers. Yeah, so starkiller just looking really dominant in this series. I'm still not losing faith, though, for DeMiGoD, as we saw in the last series I casted of starkiller. It took Terran about 4 games to really figure out the correct strategy against starkiller. But then once he did, it looked like starkiller was almost helpless to stop him. And that's the thing, is that when a best of 9, you've got a lot of wiggle room. He still can lose 2 games before he's out. Still has to win 5, but a win here makes it 3-1 in a very certainly means it's not over yet. Alright, our next map is Cyber Forest. And in the bottom corner of Cyber Forest, we have the red Terran, DeMiGoD. And at the top, we have the blue Zerg. It is starkiller. Yes, Kaori, starkiller is strong indeed. Very abusive playstyle against Terrans. Really strong play. I like that last game a lot from starkiller, not going for mutas. And what will the response be from DeMiGoD? He hasn't really been able to get much economic harassment done early. He hasn't gone for anything too crazy, just Banshees or a Viking or Liberators. Last game, the Liberators did very well, and I think there was a point in time where he was starting to really make the game pretty even with his harassment, or even get an advantage. But then the Ling Flood came in, and the depot was not raised, and it was just a world of hurt for him there. That set him back so far, and then he went into the mid-game significantly behind, and against starkiller, starkiller could easily capitalize on that, so very unfortunate for him there. Get the feeling like he hasn't really been able to play the game he's wanted to against starkiller. We saw a flash of it in game 2 when he was able to get a pretty strong army out, but it wasn't coupled with any real economic harassment against starkiller's many bases. So that's what I think DeMiGoD really needs to try to work on, is some form of harassment. starkiller going to get a very fast third hatch here, up at 210. That SCV was there to try to block it with the eBay and was unsuccessful. starkiller, now he knows that. I don't think he's going to fall for that again, or he's not going to allow that to happen again. We have more Lings on the production tab. We had a quick pool, and Ling speed is almost done. CC was built on the low ground. He's going to lose that SCV as well. Was there no Reaper made? Okay, the Reaper had to come back here. So starkiller is going for a Ling pressure. How much is he going to go for? There's going to be quite a few. Oh, did he lose the Reaper? He did. He lost the Reaper here. Okay. And now this CC is going to be canceled. Great play from starkiller. And he's on 3 bases as well. He's produced a lot of Lings, so that's not drones, but he's droning up now. And so he is at a worker deficit. But killing that CC or canceling it is quite worthwhile. Gonna hurt the economy of Terran quite a bit, as a new one has to be built right away. And starkiller is going to use his Lings to keep the Terran penned in his base as well. Now starkiller is droning up heavily to catch up in workers. He's already ahead off of 3 bases, taking that quick third. Fusion core is coming out from Demi. Be interested to see if we have a Spire or a Lair first and then a Spire for Starkiller. Viking coming out here, going to deny scouting. I like that a lot. He's going for battle cruisers, which Starkiller is going to somewhat expect, seeing that DeMiGoD has gone for them quite a bit. But if he doesn't have the scouting confirmation, he can't be totally sure. That means he might not go for much anti-air defense. We'll have to see. Viking here getting the first victim of hopefully many for DeMiGoD. And it does briefly supply block Starkiller. Nice play. If I had to guess, I would think that Starkiller wants to stay on 3 bases and really put on harassment here. He's got a Lair. He's got static defense coming into his bases. But I think he's going to want to put some pressure on 2 bases. And I think we will see a Spire. Similarly saying Pizza King. That is right. Starkiller is the undisputed pizza champion. More starports coming down. And the BCs are here. There will be spores in each mineral line, and there's no Banshees coming, so you won't need those for a bit. Starkiller really hasn't taken a ton of damage when the battlecruisers have warped in. So far, just Evo Chambers, no real tech. Okay, the layer just finished. We'll see Infestation Pit. Okay. So, currently, no Spire. Interesting. There's a Hellbat push coming out from DeMiGoD. Starkiller does have a lot of drones here. Doesn't have a huge army. This could actually be very bad for him. Does he have Lings? Not really. I don't know if Starkiller has a strong answer to this. He's microing Queens pretty well, transfusing them. These Lings are getting on top of the Hellbats, but a lot of drones are going down. The transfuses are pretty strong. Queens microing the best that they can, but again, the economic damage here for DeMiGoD is well worth it. He's going to have to pull back 26 drones on the production tab, going to help clean this up. And that 1 BC is low, but he can warp out here eventually. As well as a Overlord kill here would be very nice. So nice attack from DeMiGoD, got a lot of drones. A lot of Lings, and only lost Hellbats. Now, here the thing is though, Starkiller very active with his Lings, made a bunch of them, and is now knocking on the door here. BC's coming out, as well as, oh no Hellions being produced. So it's just going to be this battlecruiser to clean up all these Lings. Will effectively push it away though. So right now, just Queens, Lings, and Banelings. I assume Infestors will be coming in here soon, shortly. Yamato coming down. Air attack as well. It looks like Lings got through here, forcing some more mining time to be lost. Don't think they got too many workers. As we can see, the total workers lost, still 30 workers killed for DeMiGoD. Very nice. So he's committing to this BC play quite heavily. He's going to have 5 BCs soon. He just warped in 3 BCs into the main, and there is currently not a lot to deal with these BCs. He's got 5 Infestors on the production tab, but there's just not much anti-air here. He's got to move all the Queens up here, but Queens are only good against the first couple of BCs. Afterwards, they really aren't enough. He just Yamato'd out 4 queens, and this actually might be GG, unless those infestors can be out soon enough with enough mana. But Starkiller is really in a world of hurt right now. There's another VC at the main as well. Starkiller trying to desperately throw Lings at the base. It's not going to work. I'm a little, so the BCs of DeMiGoD just got a Evo chamber, but they didn't really focus on any other bases, the natural or the third. He definitely could have gone for those and got a bit more damage. Right now, it's only been a little bit of damage. He got the infestation book, but that was quickly rebuilt. Going for the hive, that would be a very strong pickoff for DeMiGoD. But again, not much economical damage done by these PCs right now. Got some drones there, that's very nice. But I really like to see him swing into the 4th. That's wide open. There's some queens over there, but he can eventually Yamato those, as well as the infestors. There we go, the DCs are coming down here, and the Yamato is going down onto the queens. Infested Terrans are up, but he can dodge those and do a lot of economic damage. I mean, this is a very questionable warp there. I'm going to have to pull that out. But the BC's over here getting a lot of drones. Now, DeMiGoD is in a worker lead. Starkiller was droning very heavily for a while, but he just lost a lot of drones. With a total of almost 60 drones have gone down in this game for Starkiller. And DeMiGoD has a quite healthy supply lead. I think he is going to crumble after this next attack. Third is just finally up. I think that could have been a bit earlier from DeMiGoD. He was focused on the pressure. It's going to take some miracle infestor spells from Starkiller here. There's a lot of Yamatos as well. I think his only choice is to throw a ton of infested Terrans down right now. This is not looking good for Starkiller. Heroes going down on some of these PCs, and a lot of infested Terrans. Will these be enough? They are doing not a lot of damage because these Hellbats are right on top of them and they are gunning them down. Ling's trying to clean up these Hellbats, and GG's called. DeMiGoD getting his first win. Like I said, it's 3-1 and a best of 9, so there's definitely a lot of StarCraft left to be played, guys. It's not over yet. I think Starkiller... Oh, looks like we're going to go to EU now. I think Starkiller thought that DeMiGoD might only make... He might only make 3 BCs. He might only make 3 and then transition into something else, because that's what he did prior. But he went full BCs. He was 2 starport production of BCs all the way. And he really wasn't... Starkiller was not prepared for that. Starkiller was droning very heavily, and the warp-in came at a really bad time. There's only queens, and those were mottoed down very easily. So now Starkiller's got to respect the BC threat. BCs are definitely a unit that can snowball once you reach a certain critical mass of them. We are going into Thunderbird. Cool map. Starkiller started off that game with some good pressure. Got a fast third and then delayed the natural. But then didn't do much after that. I think his first really units after Lings where he got the infestation hit. So no Roach, no Ravager, no Muta. And I think that left him really vulnerable in the once the BCs arrived. All right, in the bottom corner of Thunderbird, we have the blue Zerg. It is Starkiller. Oops, messed it up. Starkiller. And at the top, we have the red Terran, DeMiGoD. So far, been an exciting series. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Has been fun to watch these players battle it out. I do think, though, in terms of mindset, DeMiGoD does have quite a bit of momentum after winning that game. Definitely inspires his confidence, and I think he feels like now he can beat Starkiller. He kind of has figured out, Starkiller's revealed sort of his hand that he's gonna go. He can go Mutas, he can go Ravagers, he can do some early pushes. So DeMiGoD knows to scout for that. He knows that Mutalisks are a possibility, Ravagers are a possibility. Early Ling pressure is a possibility as well. In turn, Starkiller knows, of course, DeMiGoD, not a secret, likes his BCs, can continue to go BCs, but now Starkiller has to think, he can't under-respect the BCs like he did last game, but he also knows that if only a few BCs are made, that's an opportunity then that he can definitely pounce. So I like the momentum that DeMiGoD has, and I think he's going to continue to get better the more we play this series. Hey, Enki. What's up, man? Saying go Starkiller. Again, we have an attempt to delay that third, and not much of a delay there. It did go down a bit faster last game. It went down at 210. That was because the pool timing was different and there were more Lings made, I believe. Anyhow, this is still a pretty fast third from Starkiller. And we are going into our traditional Hellions into some starport tech for DeMiGoD. Quick lair here, looking like Mutas. And I think we will see a switch here on the starport and the barracks. And maybe a Banshee. Coming out here. He's gone Viking a couple times. Oh, he's going for a Medevac. Interesting. Did not expect that. We've seen Liberator, we've seen Banshee, we've seen Viking, but not a Medevac. So I guess a Hellion drop. Okay, I like this a lot from DeMiGoD. I think it could get some strong damage in. You know, we typically only have one queen in the main. If he goes into the main, can get some strong economic damage. And Starkiller really hasn't been harassed much throughout this series. That's one of the things I really like to stress is that, you know, Zerg is powerful at a certain point, but they're really powerful if you don't touch them. If they're basically never forced outside of their comfort zone, if they never have to spend their APM defending things and scouting and looking for certain pushes, they're going to be worse, generally. So now that Starkiller's going to have to deal with this drop, we'll see. He could take some significant economic damage. But even if he doesn't, I still like the concept of it. Trying to keep Starkiller on his toes. Where is the drop going to go in here? Ooh, I think he's going to try to go into the main. Now the Overlords do spot it here right away. I would have maybe liked to hug the bottom of the map, because now Starkiller is going to have enough time to react to this. Or will he? We'll see. Looks like he may have not registered it. Yeah, the Lings are going into the main now. The Hellions are being dropped and transitioning into Hellbats. Gonna force in here. They're getting a bit ahead of the medevac. They need to get that. Needs to get that medevac over here right away. So far, some nice Lings being killed, and some nice Hellbat micro here. I like this a lot. Hellbat's also going into the third, and a Liberator getting drones at the natural. Brutalisks are out, but it may be a little bit too late here, as there was a lot of drones that have been killed here. Hellbat's still going at it in the main. Killed a queen. The drones have all been pulled. 14 drones have gone down in this attack, plus Lings, plus queens. Alright, so it looks like Starkiller with these Mutilisks will push this back. But ooh, some really juicy drone hits here. Oh no, Starkiller, please be careful. Ooh, that was a unfortunate situation for Starkiller. He lost 20 drones, but will DeMiGoD have enough at home to defend this? He got some Widow Mines, which I like a lot. That's a very cost-effective way to defend against Lings and Mutilisks, especially if you get some really good connections. He needs to move them down here to fight against these Lings. Lings starting to wail away on these depots. He needs some repairs now. The Mutilisks are here, though. Starkiller may have enough momentum to push down, break down these depots. The depot wall is compromised, and the Mutilisks are here. Some Mutilisks getting on the missile turret as well. This natural is not looking good. Losing a lot of depots as well. Depot wall is getting completely overthrown. Cyclone being produced here. There's a few Hellbats, some Widow Mines, and as well as Vikings. So you might be able to hold the main for a bit, but still, he has lost a ton. So the problem is that DeMiGoD invested a lot into that drop, and it did a lot of damage, but he wasn't quite prepared to defend at home. Again, if these Widow Mines were at the depot wall when the attack of Starkiller came in, I think this could be a very different game. He gets some strong Widow Mine connections on Lings, and the Lings are all gone. And then he can mass repair the missile turrets. That could have been a natural saving move, but instead he lost the natural, lost a lot of mining time, and is in a really bad spot. Game's not over, but I think what if this game could have looked different if the defense was a little bit more, if he was a little bit more on top of his defense. We're just gonna go into the main here, I believe. Pick off a few SCVs. There are 2 Vikings out. We'll push this back. Starkiller, meanwhile, has re-droned up to about 60 drones and getting a 4th. So he's going to have a 2-base lead here in a minute. Unless the third lands, which then it will be a 1-base lead. So Starkiller continuing to go Muta. Getting Bailey Nest, so it's going to be Ling Bay Muta for him. I like this use of Widow Mines here in creative spots. Starkiller's really got to respect that. And there's not too much these units can do. Starkiller has droned quite heavily, so this is something to keep in mind here, that these Mutilisks are kind of the gatekeeper of Starkiller. I'm not sure if that analogy makes any sense at all, because it probably doesn't. But if these Mutilisks all go down, there's really not much standing between DeMiGoD and pushing Starkiller right now. So these Mutilisks aren't incredibly strong, but the fact that they're keeping DeMiGoD occupied, having to defend. Let's check who donated or who. Romsley is now hosting. Thank you, Romsley. So again, if he loses all these mutas to Widow Mines, then there's really not much back at home for Starkiller. We've got 76 drones, some Lings, and some mutas for some lings and some queens, but that's about it. Lots of cyclones here. The army of DeMiGoD is getting stronger. Ooh, okay. Took some Widow Mines hit. Not sure how many actually died, but oh my goodness, this is what I'm talking about. These mutas are getting torn to shreds here. Just absolutely getting mauled by these cyclones. Lots of lings going to move out and try to run by into this third base, and actually they're worried in this position there to defend, but it might not work. Okay, the lings, excuse me. Where did they go? Thank you, Enki, for hosting as well. Alright, so the army of DeMiGoD is pushing out, and there's really just lings and mutas here. He needs to morph some banelings ASAP, or else it could get very hairy for Starkiller. I would love to see some Widow Mines as well. Would make this army even more potent. Starkiller, I am worried for him. This push could be strong. There's no banelings here again. It's just Infestor, Queen. Infestor, Ling, and Muta. This army in a strong position. We've got Thors, Cyclones, and Hellbats. I thought Starkiller might go for a counterattack. That might be his best option right now. With some lings at least. The army of DeMiGoD choosing not to finish at third base. Here we go. A lot of banelings have morphed and some great fungals. And Starkiller proving that you should not doubt him. Cleaning up a lot of this army here. Still, Starkiller took some significant losses, but GG is called. And yeah, I shouldn't doubt Starkiller. He had enough time to morph the banelings, came in, got some great connections coupled with fungals, and he is looking pretty. All right, we will stay on EU. My voice is tiring. It's been a while since I've casted. Okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Enki and Romsley. Starkiller is a monster indeed. He is only one win away from taking the series. Again, guys, the Nightbot just posted the link in chat. Please be sure to go to that Matrino link and donate using the code. It's absolutely free, only takes about 15 seconds, and helps out these players. So please check that out. All right. In the top corner is the Red Terran, hailing from Iran. It is DeMiGoD. And at the bottom, we have the Blue Zerg. It is Starkiller. Starkiller only needing one win. What will he go for in this scenario? I think he will probably go for mutas on this map. And he's just shown to have been so consistent with his mutas. Consistently good with his mutas. His micro is strong. And mutas really act as a way to sort of allow Starkiller to drone up heavily in a situation where he otherwise may not be able to. Because mutas keep the... For instance, even if Terran is ahead in supply, if you have effective muta harassment going on, even if it's only chips here and there, then the Terran player is more concerned about that, and they have to spend energy and time pushing these mutas back, putting up turrets, repairing, etc. And that allows Zerg to more time to sneak in more drones and then get ahead economically. And that's what we've seen many times Starkiller do. So the Mutalisks, even if they aren't doing a ton of damage, they are doing a lot of... They are allowing Starkiller to be more economical, get up to 4-5 bases, and just have a really strong drone count. So I like Mutalisks as just as a opening, not even necessarily because they don't even have to get damaged on it. It's not an all-in thing, of course. It's just a strong unit choice that can give you a good bridge to the mid game, to the economic game. So we'll have to wait and see if we have quick flare. No third yet, and it is 2:30. If you remember, we had 2:10 and 2:30 as our last 2/3 timings. So it looks like we're having something. Double gas going down in the natural. We went gasless. I guess I'm just at loss as what Starkiller is going for here. He's on 2 base. You see a Roach Warren. No lair yet. Okay, Evo's going down here at the front, and then lair is down. So we're going to have 2 base muta. And it's going to be quite a bit of mutas, I believe. No gas in the main yet. Oh, excuse me. That's why. It's not going to be muta because there's no 2 gas in the main. It is going to be a Roach build. Will there be Niduses, perhaps? So wait and see. Meanwhile, we have DeMiGoD going for a fusion core. And he went for a Viking. And Starkiller did scout that with his Overlord. So that Overlord will be gunned down quickly. Starkiller is getting his upgrades in, and the Roach Warren is almost completed as well. And I believe this is going to be some form of Roach timing. Ravager timing, excuse me. Third base going to be taken now, but again, significantly late, as this is a Ravager push. The Reaper here from DeMiGoD coming in at an odd time, but going to get a full scout here. Going to see everything that's going on. So DeMiGoD should be well prepared for this. He's most likely going to need a tank, so he's going to have to switch. Going to have to probably put a tech lab on this barracks and switch it with the factory. With the first PC being made, that's going to transport in. That may buy him some time. But the Roach count is climbing, and there is a Hydralisk den, so it's going to be Hydralisk to deal with the BCs as well. I like this play from Starkiller. It's triple starport. Okay, so this is just a really heavy committal into BC. Unfortunately for DeMiGoD, though, Hydras are pretty good against BCs, especially before the BC count is high. There's enough Hydras here, those BCs could get sniped pretty quickly. Some Roaches are moving across the map. +2 range attack for Zerg has already started. And for Terran, we have no upgrades. Do we have armories? No. Some roaches look like they tried to put some pressure on the C-post. Saw the VCs, so he knows that the VCs are coming. But he's not going to be able to get too much damage done at this front yet, until he gets Hydras out. A barracks of DeMiGoD is floating in here to scout everything. I like this a lot when the barracks does not have utility. Might as well use it as a scouting tool. And the BCs came over here. I'm not sure if they warped or if they just watched. But is there going to be enough to deal with these BCs? 900s are going to pop, so I think yes. As well, but still, these Hydras, these BCs are getting a lot of damage done. Here's the thing, though: Hydras, upgraded Hydras are gonna. There's gonna be enough of them out soon. Those BCs are not gonna do too much. They might get the Hydra den here, so that's gonna be a really strong play. But one BC we see going down. That's how fast Hydras gun down BCs. BC trying to attack the third, but taking hits to the spore collar. Just be careful he doesn't lose that. So he's gonna have to rebuild the Hydralisk den, but those BCs are not gonna be able to get too much done here because upgraded Hydras are out. Starkiller should look to take a fort soon as well, but this is really gonna be a point where this DeMiGoD needs to question whether he wants to fully go into BCs, because once the Hydralisks have movement speed, it's just gonna be a nightmare to deal with those. It's going to be a nightmare for BCs against them. The one thing he can do is he can try to warp in with the BCs at different places and harass at other harass with the Hellions and warp in with the BCs at different places. It's the only thing I could see working here. We have more upgrades about to finish for Starkiller as well too. The Hellions and BCs are coming in here, but these should go down pretty quickly. One BC going down, more Hellions going down. Second BC about to go down. Actually, there's a lot of roaches here and not too many Hellions. So, for a minute there, Starkiller is going to take some economic damage. Needs some more Hydrals to be produced. Roaches are going to attack the third. Not a lot there. And roaches, meanwhile, as well. I missed this. Got into the natural. How many workers went down? A lot of workers. Okay. Starkiller getting a lot of damage done. BC's trying to make something happen here, but these thirds going down for DeMiGoD, and I think DeMiGoD's not going to be able to do it. The Hydra stream again too good against this BC, against these BCs. GG's called, and Starkiller will take it. Will take the series. All right, thanks everybody for watching. That was a lot of fun to cast. I usually like to cast with somebody, helps with their rhythm and flow a little bit, but unfortunately I neglected that. But thanks everyone for tuning in. I really enjoyed casting. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But that's over, right? Yeah, it's over. Just having a little bit of trouble with math. I may have not updated the score correctly. I mean, I started the cast with my mic muted, so that in a microcosm shows you my casting production abilities. All right, thanks everybody for watching. As I say for the third time, really appreciated the viewership numbers. It's been great to cast for Alpha X. I've been casting for a long time, but I always enjoy it, as I'm proudly repping the jersey here, the Alpha X jersey. God, my eyes are watering. Got a contact issue. All right, guys, I'm gonna close the stream out here. But thanks again. Thanks everybody for watching. I really enjoyed it. Oh, wow, my eye is like so watering. It's funny. It's weird. Happens when I play computer games. So my contacts water up. All right. Good to see you guys. Hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their weekend, and I'll see you guys next time.